Everything you've been told about getting rich is a lie. I know, that's a huge statement to make, right? But think about it. All the common wisdom, that it's all about luck, or you have to be the smartest person in the room, or that a big paycheck is all that matters, well, when you really look at it, it all just falls apart. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to tear down these myths piece by piece. In this explainer, we're digging into what the research actually says really separates the wealthy from everyone else. You ready? Let's dive in.
All right, let's tackle the big one first. Myth number one, it's all about luck. You know the one, this idea that getting rich is basically like winning the lottery. You're either born under a lucky star or, well, tough luck.
And hey, we've all heard those stories, right? The person who was just in the right place at the right time. And it's kind of comforting to believe that, because it lets us all off the hook. I mean, if it's all just random chance, why even bother trying? But is that what's really going on? Well, check this out. Some researchers in Switzerland went straight to the source. They asked a bunch of entrepreneurs, hey, what really drives success? And their answers, super revealing. They ranked effort as number 1, experience number 2, talent number 3. And where's luck? All the way down at the bottom, dead last. They believe what they do matters way more than some random roll of the dice.
And it's not just a feeling they have. The numbers actually back it up. The same study dug into their performance and found that luck, at its absolute best, could only explain about 17% of their success. Only 17%. The rest of it, that's driven by factors that are very much in our control. So the bottom line is, success isn't a lottery ticket you find. It's something you build.
Okay, so if it's not luck, then it has to be about being the smartest person in the room, right? You know the myth they drill into you in Econ 101? That markets are these perfect, logical machines, and the most rational people are the ones who always come out on top. Yeah, the real world doesn't exactly work like a textbook. These economic models love to assume everyone's a perfectly rational robot. But what happens when people are just people? Well, some really interesting research shows that in the real world, determined optimists, even people who are technically wrong about the future, can still win. They can prosper through sheer belief, through speculation, basically bending the market their way. It's wild, and it proves that sometimes conviction can totally crush calculation. And this is where that human irrationality can get, well, really dangerous. It can spark something called a debt deflation channel. The best way to think of it is like a financial avalanche. It starts small, a little shock makes a few people sell. That drops the price, which then panics more people into selling. And boom, you've got this vicious downward spiral fueled entirely by panic, not logic. And it just goes to show how fast a supposedly rational market can descend into total chaos. So what's the takeaway here? It's that the market is not some sterile laboratory. It's a messy, chaotic human arena. It's driven by fear, by greed, by belief. And to navigate that chaos, you need a totally different kind of intelligence, one that has absolutely nothing to do with your IQ score. And that brings us to what I think is maybe the most dangerous myth of them all. And that's the belief that if you have a high income, you must be creating high value, right? We see someone with a massive salary and we just automatically assume, wow, they must be doing something super important. But are they really?
You know, this is not a new question. Not at all. We're talking over 100 years ago. A labor rep named Bill Haywood was asking the exact same thing. He looked around and saw miners, the makers, literally risking their lives to pull real wealth out of the earth for pennies, while financiers, the takers, were making absolute fortunes just by shuffling paper around.
And believe me, this whole maker versus taker dynamic is more relevant today than it has ever been. It's pretty simple when you break it down. Value creation is about making the whole economic pie bigger for everyone, inventing a life-saving medicine or developing a brand new technology. Value extraction, though, that's all about just fighting for a bigger slice of the pie that's already there, without actually adding anything to it. Think of things like patent trolling, just using lawyers to shut down competition, or using stock buybacks not to grow the company, but just to pump up pay for the people at the top. See the difference? One builds, the other just takes.
Okay, so we've just busted 3 huge myths. The myth of luck, the myth of pure rationality, and the myth that a big salary automatically means you're creating big value. The old rules, they're broken. So let's build the new ones. And this is the big question, right? If all the old rules are wrong, then what are the real rules? What's the actual truth about building wealth?
What are the principles that really truly work in the world we live in?
All right, here they are, the new rules. Number 1, build it with skill. Success comes from your effort, your experience, not from chance. 2, navigate the madness. You have to understand that markets are psychological and irrational, not just logical. 3, be a maker, not a taker. Focus on creating new value, not just extracting existing wealth. And number 4, this is the one most people miss, and it's absolutely critical. You have to know your own mind.
Why? Because so often, the biggest thing standing in the way of your financial success is you. It's us. Our brains are just wired with all these hidden biases. The stuff we learned about money as a kid can totally sabotage our goals as adults. We'll hear perfectly good advice and just ignore it, not because it's bad advice, but because of some deep-seated psychological block we don't even know we have. Understanding your own financial psychology, that's the final key. It's what unlocks all the other rules. So in the end, the biggest lie might just be that wealth is about owning more. It's not. Real, sustainable wealth comes from understanding the difference between skill and luck, understanding how to navigate the very human madness of the markets, and, most importantly, understanding the crucial difference between taking value and creating it.